YouTube, man, we back, man, at it again, man. Doing what we do best, man. Analyzing scary, creepy TikToks, man. TikToks that's gonna give you chills, that's gonna make you question reality. All the above, man, you can find on this channel. Bro, let's get into it, man. We got a good one for you guys today.
This boy claimed he remembered his past life until his parents discovered he wasn't lying. A Syrian boy named Arius was born with a particular red birthmark on his face.
Okay.
As soon as he could speak, he explained to his parents that he had already lived another life as a different man, claiming he was actually murdered with an axe by his own neighbor. Turns out, a man had actually gone missing in their village years earlier, and the neighbor was the prime suspect. So Arius and his parents went to the neighbor's house to find out the truth. When the neighbor opened the door, he turned white as a ghost, claiming he was innocent. But Arius demanded the neighbor come with him, because he knew where his body was actually buried. Arius led them miles from the village to a specific spot under a tree, and they began digging. They found a skull that was cracked exactly where Arius's birthmark was. Everyone was shocked, and the neighbor was later arrested.
Really? What the hell?
So I found something on the internet that most people have not seen. This is the only known photo of Cherie Glenn. This is a leaked booking photo. It's from like back in the 80s when she was one of the most famous cannibals in the US before she was caught by police. The reason the photo was leaked is because at the time, her appearance was considered so disturbing for most people that it was decided that they would conceal her booking photo as well as her interrogation footage. Even the nature of her crimes is not public information. That was also sealed in the affidavit, as it was described as highly grotesque and complex. Even today, there's not much public information that's known about where she's being held, and that leaked photo is the only image that has ever been seen of one of America's most terrifying women.
Frank Shellac, known as the luckiest unlucky man that has lived, seemed to have a superpower of surviving everything life and death threw at him.
Really?
In January 1962, Frank boarded a train that was suddenly derailed.
Oh my God.
The train plunged into an icy river. While 17 other passengers drowned, Frank survived the fall and swam ashore with a broken arm and hypothermia. A year later, while on his first and only plane ride flying from Zagreb to Rijeka, the back door blasted open, sucking everyone into the sky, killing 19 people.
What?
Amazingly, Frank landed on a haystack with only minor scratches. 4 years later, Frank boarded a transport bus. The bus skidded and plunged into a river, sinking all the way down. Yet again, Frank survived the fall and swam to the surface, then to the shore with a few cuts and bruises. In 1970, Frank was driving his car when an engine failure ignited the fuel tank, bursting the car into flames. Frank jumped out of the vehicle just before it exploded.
How?
A few years later, the same thing happened with his new car.
Again?
While his hair was completely singed, Frank otherwise exited the vehicle safely.
Okay, what type of freaking dark magic does Frank got around him, bro? It's because all this crap happening to him.
In 1995, he was hit by a city bus and then again by a truck. He survived that freak accident too. In 1996, he was involved in a head-on collision on a mountain curve. Frank was not wearing a seatbelt and was ejected out of the car, clinging to a tree branch as he watched his vehicle fall 300 feet.
Really? What the heck?
2 days after his 73rd birthday, Frank won the lottery for $1.1 million. At the time of his win, he also married for the 5th time.
There has been an absolutely horrific murder this week that was live streamed on Instagram. This case is extremely disturbing, so please be warned before watching. On Friday, 12,000 people watched a Bosnian bodybuilder kill his wife on Instagram.
No way.
35-year-old Nermin had been abusing his wife during their marriage, and the pair had a young child. On Friday morning, he took to Instagram Live to tell
He a damn demon, bro. And the dude on live, you really just don't care, bro.
His followers that they could witness a live killing. Absolutely horrifically, he turns the camera to his ex, whose face is completely covered in blood and disfigured. He calls her a derogatory name and blames her for her own death because she reported him to police. Disturbingly, you can hear the child crying in the background.
In front of your kid, too?
He then tells his followers that he's the child's father and his ex had hidden the toddler from him for over a week.
A freaking good reason, bro.
For DV. So, in my opinion, yes, she's taking steps to keep her
and the child safe. That's what a mom's supposed to do.
After shooting his wife in the head on Instagram, he then goads his followers saying, "Someone come and save the child." A police chase then began and he went on a shooting rampage.
Oh, shit, man.
He continued to film and tells his viewers that he's killed 2 other people who actually turned out to be an innocent man and his young son.
Oh my
He also
gosh, bro.
wounded a police officer, another man and a woman while on the run. He ended up unaliving himself on the same day.
This mother murdered her 3 kids during a psychosis episode. On January 24th, 2023, 32-year-old Lindsay Clancy took the life of her 5-year-old daughter Cora, 3-year-old son Dawson, and 7-month-old baby Callie. On this day, at 4:53 p.m., Lindsay asked her husband Patrick to pick up some dinner at a restaurant not too far from the house. About an hour later, Patrick returned home and noticed that there was absolute silence. He called for Lindsay's name, and after no response, he went into the bedroom and noticed that the window was open. Lindsay had jumped out the window in an attempt to take her own life, but she was still alive. This is where things get really sad. Patrick went to the basement and found all 3 kids with exercise cords around their necks. Both Cora and Dawson passed away in the hospital, but baby Callan passed away 3 days later due to his injuries. Lindsay's defense attorney claims that she was suffering from postpartum psychosis, which led her to break from reality and murder her children. But the state attorney argues that these killings were premeditated and that Lindsay sent her husband to get food on purpose so that she can commit.
Yeah, because the way she just said go get the foods is like, it came out to that damn scene. Which one do you believe?
These crimes. However, Dr. Caney, who is a board member of Postpartum Support International, clarified that women can completely break with reality during violent episodes. She also said that women who are a few weeks postpartum should be aware of the symptoms of psychosis, which is usually hallucinating. Lindsay was charged with 2 counts of murder, 3 counts of strangulation and assault, and battery with a deadly weapon. And get this, she's currently paralyzed from the waist down after jumping out the window.
What the hell?
This is the man that beat Jeffrey Dahmer to death in prison in 1994, 2 years after he was convicted of murdering 17 men. He claims the reason he did it is because Jeffrey would shape his food into body parts or to make it look like body parts and then cover the body parts in ketchup and eat it in front of them. This is something that the prosecution in the case, when they charged him for the killing, didn't believe. They believe that the reason he did it was to make a name for himself. He's currently in a federal prison, and he has to remain there for at least another 1,000 years.
Damn.
This mother hid sticky notes in her daughter's sock to be saved from captivity. This 28-year-old mother and 2 kids, 7-year-old daughter and a 4-year-old son, Mason Dominguez, were held captive by a man named Brandon Tusland. This all started in January 2021 when the father of the 2 kids, Eli Dominguez, passed away from pneumonia. The mother was happily married to Eli, but since his death, she began to struggle financially. That's when Eli's former friend, Brandon, offered to support her and her 2 kids. In March 2021, the mother and 2 kids moved into Brandon's home, and that's when he became controlling and abusive. He alienated her from her family, made her quit her job, and confiscated her phone. He put locks on the bedroom doorknobs, installed motion sensors.
Motion sensors and all that? You're a damn freaking freak, bro. How you doing all that? You're supposed to be helping her, bro, not
and duct taped her to the bed. She was also handcuffed when she rode in the car with him. But one day the mother spotted a sticky notepad and a pen in his car, and that's when she began a weeks-long plan to seek help. The mother found the perfect chance to put a sticky note in her daughter's sock, and on February 22nd at 8:40 a.m., the 7-year-old girl went to school and gave the sticky note to her teacher. The note said that her mother was being held against her will and she needed help right away. School officials notified authorities and Brandon was arrested right away. But it doesn't end there. This is when things get super disturbing. Brandon kept her kids away from her most of the time, and especially when she was locked up. And she actually had not seen her 4-year-old son, Mason Dominguez, since December 11th, and she suspected he was dead. When the mother lost full contact with her son, she knew she had to find a way out to save her and her daughter. When police searched his house, they found the remains of 4-year-old Mason Dominguez in his freezer in his garage.
This is the case of Taylor Parker, a woman who stabbed a pregnant woman 100 times and then cut her baby out of her womb.
What the? Damn, that's a demon move, bro. What the hell?
Reagan and Taylor were Facebook friends, but they also spent some time together in real life. About a year
How'd you
before
do
the
that?
incident together, they took pictures for another couple of their engagement and wedding photos.
And the day before the incident, Taylor actually brought Reagan a baby gift and a Starbucks coffee. On October 9th of 2020, a Texas trooper pulled over Taylor at
These cases just be getting crazier and crazier, man. They be giving me the damn chills.
That was still attached to an umbilical cord and the other half of the umbilical cord in her pants. She said that while she was driving, she had given birth to the baby and that the baby's heart had stopped beating, so she gave it CPR. So the police rushed her to Idabel, Oklahoma. At the hospital, the baby was pronounced dead, and they wanted to give Taylor an examination since she just gave a baby. At first, she said no, but she did eventually agree to getting an examination done, and hospital staff found that she had not just given a baby. While this was happening, New Boston police got a 911 call from Reagan's mom saying that someone had killed her daughter, so police rushed there. When they got there, they found Reagan Hancock laying face down on the ground with blood all over the room. When they flipped her over, they found that the baby was no longer in her womb.
She really cut the baby out of her womb.
It had been cut out with a scalpel, and the scalpel was still lodged in her neck, and her 3-year-old daughter was there when it happened. When her body was examined altogether,
her daughter, she gonna be traumatized for the rest of her freaking life, bro.
Messed up everybody's lives. And her skull was bashed in with a hammer, on top of having a ton of defensive wounds on her arms and hands. Once the hospital staff determined that she did not just have a baby, she admitted to the police that she got into an altercation with another woman and abducted her unborn baby. Taylor was arrested while she was still at the hospital 50 miles away from where this abduction and murder took place, and she was charged with first-degree murder and kidnapping. Turns out that same morning she had a gender reveal party, and she told her family that she was leaving so that way she could pre-register to get her labor induced.
What?
Taylor already had 2 children, and she actually had a hysterectomy, so she could no longer have any more children.
So she was lying the whole time.
For about 10 months and told him that she was pregnant, and she was afraid that if she told the truth, he would leave her. While she was faking her pregnancy, she had fake ultrasounds, and she also took a lot of pictures with the fake baby bump.
Oh my gosh,
at
bro.
her arraignment, she pled not guilty to the first-degree murder and kidnapping.
You did.
In October
She really
of
pled
this
not
year,
guilty.
2 years after the murder had taken place, her trial began. Her trial concluded after 3 weeks, and when the jury went back for deliberation, it only took them an hour and 15 minutes to come up with a decision. They had concluded that Taylor was guilty of first-degree murder as well as kidnapping and the death resulting to that baby, and she was just sentenced with the death penalty. Taylor is now just one of 7 women on death row in Texas.
Damn.
This is a true horrifying story of a viewer that saw one of my videos and did not take my warning seriously. A TikToker by the name Adi watched the TikTok series that warns viewers about one of the world's most dangerous books, Shams al-Ma'arif. Adi was able to get his hands on an original copy of this book. He disregarded the warnings and he read a small section of the book. This is a quick recap on what this book really is. I posted a few videos explaining the dangers behind this book. One of the parts is part 25. This book was written in Arabic around 800 years ago by an author named Ahmed al-Buni. The book carries black magic rituals that are so dangerous, most of them are not even being performed today. This book was lost and forgotten for all those years, and I spoke about it for the first time in many years. The 3 self dancing and shaking his feet.
I'll do it. You try to give me warning and
Part 2 of the girl who faked her own abduction. The story gets pretty insane from here. So the police matched the DNA to a man named James, one of Sherry's ex-boyfriends. Police show up to his house with a load of questions, and finally he started talking. James confessed that in 2016, Sherry got in contact with him, claiming that her husband was extremely abusive. He told her he was willing to help her, and she asked him to rent out a car and pick her up. He wanted to help her disappear. During this time, she stayed at his house and slept in his bed while he slept on the couch. He said that it wasn't long before she started acting erratically. She would stay in his room in the dark. She wouldn't eat. She was losing a ton of weight. She would sit and watch news reports about her own case. She then started hitting herself with objects to create a bunch of bruising all over her body. And she cut her hair off. Very gone girl. Nearing the end of her stay, she asked him to brand her. And he was like, I don't want to do, that's going to hurt you, no. But she begged him to go and buy the supplies. There's evidence of all this, by the way. She had a secret Pinterest board where she was researching what branding tools to use.
My gosh.
And the Pinterest board was called Gift Ideas, so no one would look there, but
they eventually found it. So he helped her brand herself.
Really?
And then apparently one day, it was Thanksgiving, she decided that she missed her kids and she wanted to go home. So she asked him to just drop her off in a remote area. Now this story had a lot of evidence to back it up. And he passed a polygraph test. Police also realized that the room that she was staying in his house was the room she was describing, just minus the boarded up windows and
so
stuff like
everything
that.
is coming together.
That's why she was able to describe the room so vividly, because she was in a room. It just didn't have boarded up windows and she wasn't chained to the closet. It's 2020 at this point, and they found her in 2016. That is so many years of wasted police time.
Damn.
And so they brought her in and sat her back down.
The reason why you can describe the room is because you stayed in the room in the dark for hours, for days on end. The reason why you lost so much weight is because you stopped eating. The reason why you got a rash on your arm is because you cleaned his house.
Damn.
The reason why the brand is because he went to the store, bought the branding tools, and branded you. The reason why your nose was...
Safe to say they had her cornered. I feel so bad for her husband, Keith. Like, oh my God. He was completely tricked.
Damn,
and he really stood by her side that whole time. So she eventually caved, and she admitted that she lied.
Had to give it up.
Unfortunately, we never got the why. Like, why did she do this?
Yeah, what
Attention,
was it for?
She entered a plea deal and only got 18 months. I'm running out of time, but here's some more information. I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye-bye.
Damn, she had to pay $300K? That is messed up, bro.
She just dropped her debit card, and unfortunately that would lead to one of the worst freak accidents. Viewer discretion is advised. Pictured here was 23-year-old Victoria Strauss. She lived in the Columbus, Ohio area. She was a beloved daughter, a beloved sister. She was described as vibrant, energetic. She was funny, she was caring, and she was someone who loved to express herself through dance. She was a fantastic dancer. She participated in dance competitions all over the country. She's won several awards. They said that she was truly herself when she was out there dancing or cheering. She was also a graduate of the Florida Atlantic University, where she got her bachelor's degree in psychology. On the evening of January 18th, 2021, Victoria was leaving this building, and it was a parking garage. At 11:37 p.m., CCTV camera would pick up Victoria trying to exit the parking garage. And as you're leaving, you have to pay the machine, for the parking. So as Victoria is going to put the card in the machine, she accidentally did something we've all done before at drive-thrus or ATMs. She dropped the card. So she opens the door and she leans over to pick the card up. And, her head and, her upper torso are out of the car. The camera at that point picks her car up moving, so she accidentally hits the acceleration and drove the car forward. The car collided into the payment kiosk, and this actually caused the door to slam basically on her head, and it pinned her into the door. And at that point, she was unable to do anything to back the car up because she couldn't reach the thing to reverse the car or anything. She wasn't discovered until approximately 5:30 the following morning. And when police arrived with ambulance, she was pronounced dead at the scene. And that's when they were able to pull up footage and see exactly what happened. Bro. About 2 months after she passed, the coroner report would come out that said that she suffered from mechanical asphyxia, which is basically when something causes you to stop breathing. But her actual cause of death was blunt force trauma to her head. I don't know if this was an immediate type death, or if it took a certain amount of time.
I'm never going to pick up my car car like that.
But it's just a situation where you're like, you don't think this could ever happen. We've all dropped our cards at machines and drive-thrus, like I said, and most often than not, we're not aware that our foot is still on the pedal, right? On the pedal, or near it. I never really knew that this is something that could happen until now. So now I can say that because of this story, now we can make sure we know to take our foot away. It's very tragic.
How many of you guys remember this girl? She went absolutely viral in 2020 for making faces in court. But before we get into her story, my name is Ashley, and if you guys like crime, creepy, and unbelievable stories, check out my YouTube channel or my TikTok for more content. So this girl's name is Isabella Guzman, and in 2013, she fatally stabbed her mother over 79 times.
And she's smiling about it too. Damn demon,
The video that went viral was actually from 2013, but somehow it took 7-8 years for it to reach mass audience.
Really?
So initially, Isabella was quite young when she started exhibiting a lot of behavioral issues. She was living with her mother at the time, but when she was 7 years old, she was sent to live with her father. After a few years went by, her father then sent her to go live with her mother again when she was a teenager.
Sent her back?
And in August of 2013, the relationship between Isabella and her mother quickly deteriorated.
Damn.
They were fighting quite often, and on August 27th, they had an argument that ended with Isabel spitting in her mother's face.
Really?
The following morning, Isabella's mother received an email saying, "You will pay." Obviously, she was terrified and didn't know what else to do with her daughter, so she called the police. The police arrived to her home and then talked to Isabella, telling her that if she didn't straighten up, that her mother could legally kick her out of the house. Isabella's mother then called her biological father to come talk to Isabella. He came over to their house and had a long talk with her in the backyard, talking to her about respect. According to him, he thought that they had made a lot of progress, but then a few hours later, everything changed.
August 28,
2013, around 9:30 p.m., Isabella's mother, Yeonmi Hoi, arrived home. Told her husband she was going to head upstairs and take a shower.
Damn.
That's when her husband hears these awful screams coming from upstairs. Basically, he runs upstairs to see what's wrong, and when he gets to the bathroom, he sees Isabella slamming the bathroom door shut, locking herself and her mother in the bathroom. He tried as hard as he could to get that door open, but it was locked. All he heard was screaming and an obvious struggle going on. Then he saw blood seeping through the bottom of the door and called 911. Then, as the door was opening, he heard his wife say the word Jehovah, and then Isabella walked out of the bathroom with a bloody knife. Apparently, Isabella didn't say a single thing, just stared at him and walked away like nothing had happened.
The hell?
Runs into the bathroom to check on his wife when he discovers that she had been brutally stabbed 79 times.
Damn.
Unfortunately, she passed away. By the time police arrived, Isabella had run away from the home, but police quickly found her the following day, hiding in a nearby parking garage. On September 5th, 2013, Isabella was brought into court for the first time, and that's where we see the video of her making all these faces. We later find out that Isabella was actually suffering from schizophrenia and had delusions for years. According to her, she didn't remember that she was stabbing her mother. She thought that she was stabbing a woman named Cecilia in order to save the world. The judge accepted her plea of mental insanity and sentenced her to a mental facility. In June 2021, Isabella was given permission to leave the hospital for her therapy sessions. She has expressed remorse for what happened, but also said that her mother was extremely abusive towards her.
YouTube, that's it, man, for this video for you guys today. Like I said, if you guys enjoyed this, man, could you guys do me a huge favor, leave a thumbs up on it, on this video, man. Like I said, we're trying to grow our community, so I really guys need your guys' help to subscribe and hit that like button, man, so we can grow together. Like I said, man, you guys like these longer videos, man, I'm gonna bring it to y'all. I love you after this content, man. Like I said, it's always up to you guys to decide the clips we check out. Is it fake or is it reality, bro? So yeah, man. Also tell me the TikTok that gave you guys the most chills, bro. I really want to know. I'm out. Appreciate you.